most people who consume weed sit there by the tuck shop. Well, sure. Don't call your ex after your third blunt.
I know you don't smoke weed, right?
Yes.
And it's okay to not consume. I understand. You know, like people have their reasons to why they would not consume the mother plant, and people have their reasons to.
Do you consume the mother plant?
Wait, but that's where I'm going. You get what I'm saying? That's where I'm going. With our understanding of what you guys think weed is and what you guys do with weed, what do you think is basically this plant, bro? Like this, it's a tree and you smoke it. It's a tree and we smoke it. What do you guys think?
Aren't herbalists like that in the sense of like when you look at traditional medicine? Funny thing, we're speaking about the plants, right? Traditional medicine is mostly rooted in plants, which then people misconceptualize with tarot, for lack of a better, witchcraft. You get it. But I recently experienced a person who got help from a traditional healer, which reversed a stroke with just traditional medicine. So muchly so that when they went to the hospital, I can't mention the place. Wow. You are right. I'm telling you, like for real, this is a revelation. I'm telling you for real. It happened. It literally happened.
No.
Traditional medicine, not necessarily weed, just went to right after you using it to struck so much, half of their body was paralyzed, they couldn't speak, and they took her to the traditional healer, and she reversed the whole thing so much. Now when you see that person, it's like nothing happened. She went to the doctor, they said they didn't even say anything about the stroke. They just said that she should reduce eating certain things.
Wow, but I can
traditional medicine.
It's the way to go.
No, but then I can't always say in cannabis as a whole compound as a person.
Okay.
Like personally.
Yes.
You know, people smoke weed just to be high, but for me it's deeper than that. It's healing, it's meditation. You know, because we need to understand at some point that a plant has a course to play in nature. Such as that in the cannabis plant, it's not really drugs, but then it's medicine. And that's why it was removed from, it was decriminalized actually, you know.
Because of Rasta.
Yeah.
Go, sorry.
Not because
Lendo
of,
Lena can
not
do training ayo. Lendo
given the nature of the place that we are at today, I felt today is a really good day for us to actually advocate cannabis as a form of medicine. You know, it must not be associated with it just being a drug. Because it's not a drug. It was decriminalized, and also it was declared. Sahara has like a section 21 where they removed weed from being a drug to actually reclassifying it as medicine. So I believe so much in weed.
Okay,
so,
that's don't like advocates kancane.
Yeah, I was also about to play David.
You see, you have to understand. For us who understand, we do understand. Because the revelation has came to us, you know, we have came to a point of understanding and acknowledging. We go to, wow, this is where we are, this is how we are, and this is how we connect with who we are, where we are, you know. So, but there are people who consume without that understanding. There are people who consume with the intention of escaping reality. I always say, I don't consume because I want to escape reality. I do it because I want to enjoy this reality more. But not many people are able to do that, and that's the honest truth, guys. Many people use weed as a form of escape.
Escape. Shit. What do this word?
Escape, yes, something. Yeah, you know, but they use it to escape this reality because they're running away from certain emotions that they feel within themselves that they don't want to be. And the honest truth is the mother plant does help you disconnect whenever you need it to, which is why there are different types of strains, which is why there are different types of weed that you can partake if you want to feel a certain way or not. But people don't know that. You know?
I don't know.
Because
there's a lot that people don't actually know.
You know what's funny, right? We're busy having this conversation like in food discourse, but she doesn't smoke weed.
Yeah.
I want to see her perspective as a person, and like, you know, there's the reason. But I want to know like what they were saying. Some was saying that we as a consumer of the plant, we are able to find the richness of it. Since you don't consume it.
You don't
You haven't. But what's that one thing that like maybe perhaps pulled you off on it, like what she's saying? We found the goodness of it. Maybe is it because you view it in that stigma that Bahati spoke about? Uguti, it's a drug only, or have you actually actively put yourself in a space whereby
Or for me, personally, I've never thought of like, oh, Sam, let me try this, let me do this. I just never really had
anything
that need. Yes, but I do have friends who take it for like anxiety and stuff like that, and it does help them. And I mean, yeah, sure, do that for you, but not for me.
Yes.
You know, it's nothing against it or anything, but just for me. I'm not like me.
You're functioning.
Yeah.
No, actually, fun fact. There are 2 molecules that are found in your body, receptors there. So I think.
Well, I think I've
I'm
heard
in the
that.
science field.
Yeah.
Because I don't want to be. You look like a science person.
Are you a science?
No.
I'm in arts.
You're in art.
You're in arts. Wow.
Who's also,
So apparently there are receptors. And in those receptors, there are molecules that are found. It's your brain receptors and and there's like something about your immune system as well. So CD1 refers to your
the one in the
receptors
head,
in the brain, and then CD2 is like your immune system, and then your body has like I think it's called and your body produces endocannabinoids, and those links are associated or are similar to compounds that are found in weed, which is your THC and your CBD, which means that your body is designed to interact with cannabis and THC. But however, there's this whole debate that has been made to say that weed causes psychosis. But then people fail to understand that there's a difference between causation and correlation. CBD and THC does have a correlation with psychosis, and that is given that an individual has already mental underlying issues, conditions like your schizophrenia and your bipolar. So if you do consume
I'm like, okay, schizophrenia, I'm like, sure. But
so now causation is an individual with those mental health conditions consuming CBD that now it links to psychosis and all of that. But then we cannot stop the producing of weed, of cannabis and THC, or maybe declare it as a drug just because a certain population of the world responds in a certain way. For instance, like people who have nut allergies, are the nuts out of the store?
Isn't like nuts.
Nuts.
Like
peanuts.
I think like that game would actually
You
like
turn it out, huh?
Yeah.
Sorry, I wanted to add on to what you're saying before we move on. I agree, but completely disagree.
Completely.
Because when you see that study that you're mentioning, I also
So you
read
don't
it.
agree?
Yeah, as a stoner, I'm conflicted. Let me just say that I'm conflicted. So, as a person who's consumed the substance, I know the good and the bad sides of it. I don't know about
But
others.
isn't that how medicine works?
Words.
That's
True.
medicine, and that's how medicine works.
True. With that being said, the central receptors that connect with cannabis, that actually now when you start smoking would get reactivated, but they grow as opposed to being an ordinary human being. As a person who also who speaks about spirituality a lot, you might have known and find of the pineal gland. It's situated at a similar spot position, so that's why when you get high, even with shrooms, you are able to tap into the other dimension. Do you get it? So in some way it's bad, especially when you look at to the day-to-day basis. To day-to-day basis, you can't be consuming weed on a day-to-day basis because now weed becomes the biggest enemy. I don't know whether we speak about that enough.
Personally, I've
It
never had a bad relationship
with weed.
cannabis.
I've had both good and bad.
I've never had any bad.
Really?
I've never.
So should it depend on it depends on the person.
I've never.
It's not also only depending on a person. Like I mentioned when we was in the car, there's a friend of mine who, when he consumes weed, he sees things.
people. Yeah,
He's schizophrenic, which is something you also mentioned. And I agree with her also when she says it's pre-existing mental health disorders that normally now get triggered. The psychosis get triggered by the plant, which not only makes you get to that point, but now it affects the way you view the plant. And now with that being said, like weed doesn't necessarily have bad sides, but overly and excessive consumption
but
of it.
there's no overly and excessive.
Just because it doesn't have an overdose. Just because it doesn't have an
There's
overdose.
different kinds. Because for me, where I come from, right, we used to know people who like lost in on the Zabu went crazy just from smoking weed.
Because of correlation, there was an underlying mental health.
No. Wait, they're singing Jelen. Let me tell you why.
Because of
that.
these receptors,
Wait, let
your
me show
body
you.
is supposed to interact because there are similar molecules. The molecules, your CB1 and CB2, they mimic the compound found in the cannabis plant, which is the CBD and the THC, and thus your body provides enough endocannabinoids, guys. Your body is supposed to interact with weed, but then if you have pre-lying mental health
Sometimes
conditions,
it's not
it
even
triggers
pre-lying. Sometimes it's not even pre-lying.
The psychosis
Honestly
is
speaking,
just there.
Wait, no. It's because we're not playing a game. I wanna run an experiment on you based on this conversation, which is why I pulled out 3 different strains. So here is a sativa and an indica and an indo, right? So you guys, I want you to tell me, as consumers, do you know what these different strains do? Do you know what these different strains are to you? And how do they relate with you?
How do they relate with you?
You know? Because it could happen that whoever smoked that weed is because he smoked weed that wasn't in correlation to them.
The indica, the sativa.
So you see what I am saying? Then, like we said, there are different strains to it. You cannot just wake up and say I'm going to smoke weed. That's why I need mama tsembe.
And that's why it's and thanks to God, we have dispensaries.
We have dispensaries now. Like this pharmacy.
So it means it should be prescribed. You shouldn't just get it anyway.
Even in America,
It
they have
should be a
that prescription. They do have that prescription thing. But it's funny how we've just been digressing and speaking and
About weed, because it's such a beautiful concept.
It is.
Weed is a very beautiful concept.
But then, hey man, welcome guys. Welcome, Sanamgela. It is Friday Facts. We go by Grandpa the Painkiller with no spaces, and that is on YouTube. But on TikTok it is the_painkiller1, and we go by Friday_up_fact on YouTube. I'm here with the pack. So I want us to kick off the show with
Yeah.
I want us to play the game because it's disrupted us, guys.
Take it.
Not
So we'll do it.
not you.
So we have a koki and a keke. And the koki is outside.
The
Koki means, offset. Koki. Keke means onset. You know what I'm saying? I'm talking, that's how really what they mean for those who don't really know. But
at least KK preferably so that you don't
mix it.
But
you see, I said
they both KK.
Yeah.
But then, you know what's crazy? We are speaking about weed so much, and also, most people who consume weed sit there by the tuck shop. Sponsor shop. The sponsor shop. So I want us to play that game that we were playing, but the sponsor shop is very sure.
And when they dissolve, they put saliva
on the paper. You remember? But then I want us to replay that game, the sponsor shop version of it.
Okay.
But then we'll do it orderly, ne?
Orderly.
Okay, yeah. But okay.
The sponsor shop. I'm a Pakistani actually.
I'm a Pakistani.
Pakistani ngikugcwele.
Ngigcwele ngaphakathi.
Ngaphakathi kweCafonoza ngikhona.
Ngikhona phakathi inside.
Inside is where you find me.
Hey man.
Me, I'm always high.
High up the sky.
Skies the odd.
Huh?
Yeah. He's out.
You're out.
I ran out of a sentence, fam. Okay, roll.
No, okay, wait.
Okay,
Let's start afresh. No, what do you think in the Australia? I see.
I'm like, I was preparing my argument.
I have a weed tray.
Okay, can you please bring back my
Okay, we'll start the game. He goes and then we all go.
Okay.
Shoot.
Nature pharmacy is so nice.
so nice rolling your old joint.
Joints together as one.
One joint a day keeps the doctor away.
Away, I fly.
Fly high.
High like I'm about to be.
Be yourself.
Self is a state of being.
Being here is eye-opening.
Openly, it's how you should actually look at everything you find in this life.
And this life is a very beautiful one, so you better be in the moment to enjoy it.
Enjoy yourself at all times.
Times Life is where I get the reports.
Times life. The pimp.
Report me, go principal.
You broke it off. But guys,
Okay. Your sentences are really to be questioned.
your sentences.
All of you, your sentences.
How
How?
swear.
No, all of you.
As a teacher. As a teacher.
Your sentences.
As a teacher. You're starting. I was with this other. Okay. Aside from that.
What happened to sentence
Is
structure?
it sad? Is it sad? Sentence structure, I mean, a young stressor because this other person I was with is a teacher, so is working towards being a teacher. I will fuck up a grammar, you're wrong, she will correct you like Usam on the spot.
Did you guys know that Bible was actually printed in the 1400s when the first printer was printed?
Yo, wait, darling, let's
Did you guys know that the Bible was printed in the 1400s?
No, that's
So
was
then,
printed.
how do we undo that in 30 years of democracy?
No.
Yo,
no,
that's crazy.
No. But you know what 420 stands for? Like, I found out some other interesting fact this other day, right? They say that, like, 420 came from a police radio code for marijuana use in progress. Like, it was
As
a
a
code.
420. Yeah,
there's a
GTA
420,
it's an address, especially. Because you should listen to, like, what do you think, huh?
No, when I
know.
listen, like I'm like, did you really listen to that?
Yeah.
Because like, with that being said, mentioning Lende Iyama games, they even speak about weed. I'm surprised. Because another thing that's funny is that in music videos and in just entertainment, weed is glamorized, which is what we were doing behind the scenes, and not speak also about the impact of weed in the mental health and the progression of our youth. Because the same way our older, I'm born free and millennials, the problem was that they overly and excessively had a lot of fun through alcohol and cigarettes. Now that weed is that thing for us. I don't know whether if you have noticed, like almost every
A lot of
in 5 people, 3 of them are smoking weed.
yeah.
Even if they don't smoking it consistently, they are smoking weed occasionally. So what's your thoughts on that?
I think it's because, like, just like you said, weed has been glamorized a lot, right? So much so that the people who we idolize are majority weed smokers, and they do consume weed, you know. So when it goes out there, it goes out as something flashy and something nice, and then it loses its value, and then you know what they say about when you have a lot of access to something, and then and then obviously
too much of something is not good.
yeah, I was not my quote. Manje, the thing with weed is that, just like you said, it's been overly glamorized, and then when we partake on it, we don't partake on it with understanding. We partake on it with pop. Yeah.
Say papela.
See, papela, you know, you were bored, you know, and your friends were smoking, and they looked high. They were laughing, you know,
Yeah,
and
like,
you wanted to laugh, you know, you
That's how
wanted.
actually most people started.
Exactly.
Like, curiosity.
And that's
Even
why,
the
that's why I
influence of
told you
music.
that I don't have a bad relationship with it, because it didn't start with influence. It started as
Because you wanted to.
a conscious decision and wanting to, and doing my research. I even know that there's an encyclopedia of cannabis, so I did my study before I
started to partake.
Yes.
So I feel like people should like do their research before they partake in cannabis. Like, I mean, there's nothing wrong with partaking in cannabis, but do it for the right reasons, I guess.
Yeah, I was actually about to ask you, like, how did you actually do your research? Is it like a Google research,
Or
did you go to some?
There was no ChatGPT at that
No,
time.
there was no ChatGPT at that time. It was because I used
Sorry to cut you, right? I don't know how to play that game. I played with her and I lost. And it was like, what the fuck? But yeah, continue.
It was because I used to visit in a community where, like, the people who were drivers of art were Rastafarian people, you know. So there was like a place at the corner that was referred to as heritage. So it was a large space. There's like a market going on, and it's a Rastafarian community. So each and every time they would have like gatherings and they just dance on the street. They're not people who cause trouble, and they came across as the most peaceful people you can.
So, are there the people who told you about the what cannibalistic
What?
like all the information that you got about?
Yes, it was from wanting to understand why is it so important that you guys partake in it on a daily basis. Not only just on a daily basis, but it becomes like that herb that is trusted in that community. And then
But trust.
they were so artistic. They did literally everything good in community.
Trust.
But then they would always advocate for it as medicinal use. So I did my study, and
Is that the second time?
Yes.
No, that's
I don't know how to play this game.
She's taking advantage of the fact that I'm really like get disturbed because
But then
I'm torn into two.
I want to ask, right? When you say trusted, right? You know, trusted is a very big word, guys. Trusted is a very big word.
Trusted is a big
women
word.
like using that word, trusted. They want to be trusted in everything, right? So much so. Oh, well. You know, a study. There's a study, right? There's a scientist that did a study that claims that the girlfriends are always right in the argument.
We are.
Oh, they
We are.
Believe they are. Yeah.
Listen, the problem is that we cannot run away from the fact that men are designed naturally to have low emotional intelligence, and women are emotional beings. So we are correct in the sense that
if it gets to an argument, it means I've been
digested you so much.
We are
You
right.
convinced them, Alza?
We are always
That's
right.
my point.
I am convinced you.
Like, it's funny.
Because you want to be logic.
Do you know what I actually
Because
think?
women will
what
want
I
to be
actually
logic
think
in a
happens?
situation that requires emotions.
Emotions.
But are women just better communicators, or they are just good at
No.
tripping?
Do you know what happens? Usually?
Men are good.
Let me
at
tell you
tripping.
something.
Men
But
like
to get
claiming
started.
that
Do you know what men do? Usually
men are twice as
we
manipulative
do not
as they
like
claim that
having
women are
arguments or
manipulative.
fights with women, like generally, right?
You
We
avoid
respect you
that.
that much, right? Like
Yeah.
that much. So for the time being, we know you're gonna come and wanna like have a whole back and forth of it. So usually we'll just say, okay, you're right, but it's not all the time that you're right.
That's why I'm saying men are manipulative, because in you saying you don't want to reason, that's you saying you are dismissing.
But
Because
you
that's
guys,
communication. Communication is not supposed to be dismissed. If I bring something to the table, it means that land or it must be discussed. And you want to dismiss it instead of reasoning with me so that we find common ground.
so nifuna ukuba
So
argument
you-
champions.
No, we don't want to be argument champions. In the process, I'm trying to show you something, because if I don't show it to you, it's going to be a problem in the long run, because it means we'll keep on going over and over the same thing over and over again. So much so that it feels like a whole back and forth that's tiring.
So that's interesting.
Yeah.
That's
See?
a lot
And
to,
I'm
to,
right
to,
again.
to digest. Oh wow. Let me bring on my debating mode. First of all, with what you're saying. Thing is, I remember we did an episode where we were speaking about women, and we ended up saying a lot of shit that was basically patriarchal. I don't want to say a lot of things because it will sound patriarchal, but I get your point. But even in culture, now I'm going to go patriarchal. In culture, vele indoda akumele ikhulume kakhulu. You understand? Indoda akumele yap isho nje nganye qediwe nje. Do you get it? Women are natured, like what you said, using your own words, are wired to be emotional, intelligent,
Yes.
right?
down.
Yeah, I understand. You understand. Udinga khona lokho ukuthi, but mangithe, you know, culture says, not me. Culture says mangiti 1 uti 0. Mangiti 2 uti 1. Not ukuthi mangiti 1 uti 1. No. Mangiti 1 uti 0.
Mangiti 1, mangiti 2 uti 2, mangiti 1 uti 5, mangiti 7 uti 2, mangiti 1 uti 1.
Best in Mangwela was 0 when you silent below 85. And then you think you've won the argument, which is KK's point.
Yeah, but okay, no, I understand.
That's where you have it wrong. I don't do it to
Women are just able to go further.
He has it all wrong.
Yeah, go on.
I'm not doing it to win.
No, you are the woman.
Tell me 100% of the time because you have a point to put across.
Even.
If you don't feel like that point is not put across, you're not gonna stop, right? Definitely 100%. How much do you feel like, okay, my point
I will
is
stop the day you reflect and understand it.
I will stop the day. No, you know, I don't like it. That's my point. I don't like being in a relationship for that reason. Because no, you're not gonna end up being like, you know, a mosquito. Every now and again, because now it's like I'm not wrong.
Let me tell you,
I'm not wrong every time.
The problem is that when you are listening to answer, you must listen to understand.
And digest.
What's the point of conversation then?
everything you are saying right now.
It's wrong.
Yeah, you are wrong.
Right. Listen, you see, here's what you guys don't understand.
And that's a good depiction of what women are. Let's run her up to speed, right?
Now, here's what we're talking about. We're talking about how women are always right in arguments and men are not.
Thank you.
Okay. Maramanje, mina bese ngiyaku pointed different. Okay, here's what they were talking about.
Yeah.
They were talking about Ubahati made a very interesting point. Women are right because if it gets to a point of an argument, it means already I've been saying it. So really you're right.
This is interesting.
You know what?
You know how it's interesting.
But here's where I'm going with it. Here's where I'm going with it.
I think if I could go where I'm heading.
Really, what happens then when a woman is in an argument with another woman?
Yes, that's
Okay,
That's exactly where I was heading. This is gonna be more fun.
I have very good communication skills because in as much as something can be a confrontation, I get to decide how the confrontation goes. Because I put rules before. I'm a person with so many boundaries. For instance, Usam is a very good friend of mine. But if we were to get to a point where me and Samu we have to argue, I'm gonna be like, Samu, you know what? These are my conditions. If you are not going to lower your voice when you talk to me, if you are not going to if you are not going to stop pointing at me when you talk to me, then I'm not gonna have this conversation.
Then it's gonna be
It's not. Then I'm just not gonna have that conversation. So these are my conditions, and if we want to my conditions are not honored from the start, then I pull away from the entire conversation.
We are never wrong.
That's the problem. The problem is I'm never wrong.
We were all wrong, and then now you're going to set a standard on how somebody is supposed to be angry.
No. My theory is you don't distract.
I want to get a different perspective from the side of like.
Let me tell you.
Let's just say from woman to woman.
Let me tell you.
Because we both have.
Woman to woman, Mina. I don't go. Let me tell you. No.
Yeah, I want to hear from you. How does it go?
Okay.
Because I've heard that in in the community there's a lot of tush tush.
No.
Tush tush.
Okay. No.
Is it still chipping me? Yeah.
But is it?
It's still gender-based violence.
Yeah, more. Say gender-based violence, even it's women to women.
Even if it's
Anything I need to take you.
Okay, well for my experiences, whenever I'm in a argument with my girlfriend, I always, like she said, I set boundaries. Like if when I was hey, you're angry, and then no, why? Sit down. Wait. Calm down.
So whose boundaries got to follow? Your boundaries.
Exactly.
It's not even boundaries. It's necessary. It's not boundaries.
Because you can't be shouting.
No. It's not boundaries. Yes, it's necessary. It's not boundaries. It's necessary communication skills.
Exactly. Like, understand, guys, Mamilan. Listen, I'm going to paint us a scenario, right?
All right.
So here's a scenario. You did something that made me angry.
Okay. As a right, I'm your partner.
Yes, I'm your partner, and I am angry at you for something that you did.
I did.
Right?
Alright.
And I'm coming to you, with the same attitude you guys don't want. Okay. You don't want me to shout at you and whatever. Yes. And you're right, You're right. You don't want to be shouted at, right? But at the same time, you have to understand that from the first place, you broke this person's boundary. What if the boundary was not to protect themselves, but to protect you from seeing that version of themselves? And you are the one who inflicted, you are the one who switched on that pain onto them. They told you they don't want something like this done, and you did something like that. And now they are angry. Now you are angry, and because they are angry, they are coming at you in a way that is not nice to you. They are wrong too, yes, given provided. But when that moment you are in no position, no. In that moment,
if you're busy shouting at me,
position.
No, but if you're busy shouting at me, how are we gonna communicate?
It's zero position. No, it's her thinking it's zero position. It means that you also have some sort of entitlement. Just because I broke a boundary, this is how you choose to react, and that reaction is because I skipped the boundary. No. Okay. As much as I may be wrong, it doesn't take away the fact that as in my wrongness, I still have two wrongs don't make it right.
Exactly.
I still have a boundary.
But how
I am
do
not
you deal with
You
that?
also have a boundary. You can't lead if you can't lead yourself.
But
if
then
you
that's
don't,
true.
If you don't expect your boundary to be broken, you make sure
You
that
don't
you
break
never break the other person's boundary, even if they are wrong or right. And that's where integrity comes in. It's doing what's right when no one is watching.
But
if you can do what's right
Also,
when no one is watching,
why are we
you can do
shouting
what's
when
right
we're in an
also.
argument? I get why we're in an argument, yes. Why are we shouting?
So now you're controlling my tone.
Sorry, for example, what y'all are doing right now. Y'all are shouting and you're like, hey, and I'm like,
I should have integrity.
Fair point.
Fair point, yes.
We are shouting in an argument. Why are we shouting?
How are we shouting? Because you aren't getting anything. You aren't hearing me. I'm not hearing you. Because as soon as you shout at me,
each other.
God.
So the point is, nobody's supposed to actually be right. Like, yes, it's a matter of like a meeting and understanding and finding a point. But you shouldn't come with your rules and be like, things should go like this and this and that
the way
and then if you do not
just connected everything, because what you are mentioning goes back to that whole argument that sparked this whole argument.
Yes.
Men tend to think that we want to get a point across when all that we want to do is to just have a conversation. Reason and find a middle ground,
and then
move on. So you dismissing it does not solve the problem. So if I'm if I'm constantly barking, it means that you keep on ignoring a grievance. So I have to make sure
we are every day.
Good words from a married woman, that is, right? Which brings me to the next point. The word of advice: don't call your ex after your third blunt.
After the third blunt.
You'll find yourself having an
How are you on
argument.
blunt 3? Nah, my first question is how are you on blunt 3?
What's going on?
What's happening?
Okay?
Because if you're taking the right amount of weed and you're taking what you should be consuming,
You're not even supposed to finish that
You're
one.
not even finished.
If it's a proper one.
If it's a proper one, how are you on day 3?
Don't call your
And why are you
That's what
thinking
I'm
of your
saying.
ex?
Don't call your ex.
What
No,
of
no,
the
no,
advice?
no.
Your ex at all. I don't even understand.
Hey, bro, I have
No, I
a
don't
problem
even.
with me.
I
I
have a
like
very strict
That's why I
rule
like
with
exes.
how I live my life. Ex. It means that
For
there's
reason.
no interaction
None
between
whatsoever.
me and that. We can't be friends. We've seen each other naked. We can't. be friends.
Mapuna nje.
So what would
Lapha madala amekhona ayophinda ame futhi. Yes.
Someone that you really truly loved, you're with, and then they don't bother or anything, they never call or whatsoever.
No,
Then they
right.
call you the other time and then they need help. Would you help them?
It depends.
It depends what they need. Like what type of
No, it depends. It's even the
depends.
kind of
So
relationship.
let's hear from her first.
No, because for instance, I never spoke to my first boyfriend. We were in a relationship together until he told me that he was pansexual.
I guess.
So I felt, yeah, he told me he's pansexual.
Okay, sorry.
Nice.
Sorry, why? Sorry, wait a minute. Why do you have that reaction? Like, hold on a minute. Let's understand.
There was nothing to the reaction.
He told me he was pansexual. I had no issues, none whatsoever against the flag. I was completely fine with him being pansexual.
Ooh.
It's nothing to be condemned. You are pansexual. Then, but I'm a straight person.
Yeah. So.
And yeah, being a straight person and being with a pansexual person, the relationship is always going to be one-sided because when you have parts of yourself that you need to explore. I don't have those parts. So it's going to be one-sided. Exactly. Yes, it's going to be one-sided. So let me not put you in that cage. So Whitey, so what should we do now? Should we break up? And I said, yeah. And we broke up over text and we never saw each other ever again.
But what's your
Yes.
thoughts? What's your thoughts, Gloria?
And then years later,
the argument, what
guys
KK
arguing?
was speaking
What were
about.
you guys arguing?
Your ex, why?
You see, these are the negative
your ex-
effects of weed.
no,
People zoning
no,
out. She
we're
asked
not
us.
zoning out. We were
Yeah.
talking about
Like
there shouldn't be any relations between
like even now they
people.
don't call you and then they need
And
something.
then, okay, so
Yes.
so
They
like
need help.
you said that, but okay, broke up with my ex, fine, and she never called me, nothing. But then now this day, I'm Sanje, I phone, hey, I need help. I really need help. Da 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 da. I'm like, it depends. Wow, why are you calling me only? Don't you have other friends?
people.
Don't you have friends? Obviously, we're your friends. Why are you calling me?
Yeah,
Do you know?
If I wanted to call you, I wouldn't be calling you. But like, think about it. Okay, Bapo bestie, and then
No, but then surely there's a friend. Surely. So you're trying to tell me that
Maybe that person had attachment issues. They know why they kept your number for so long, and the reaction when they needed help, the first reaction was because they still attached to
Or maybe you're the closest person in the closest area.
You know what we can just
you're
do,
just
right?
the closest convenience.
The closest convenience and the closest conversation, right? Can we just have the high and enjoy that high, and let's just have that conversation, right? I want to see how y'all would react to this conversation when y'all are high, because I can see the passion in the conversation. But for Abangan Betu at home, right? Well, did you want to say something? Because I wanted to go with Sbashi, because guys, this Katero was my when I joke show but guys, you can consume such substances smartly, like Masmilano said. You were still saying
Smartly, it's possible.
and
you were still saying before.
side effects. So
Side effects. Yes.
Yeah, malfunction. Right. So I just wanted to know, out of everything, Jay, that we've discussed, Namtanja, do you guys think Africa would be a much better continent if we stayed the way that we were before
Let's start from this
colonialism
side,
came.
actually. Let's start
Or
from this side.
rather, yeah, before.
Isn't it? You
Yeah,
also
if
think
we
history.
kept to our way of living, if the white man didn't come, you know, I know that's a lot to imagine, but what I'm
That's
basically
totally the
saying,
same.
yeah,
Yeah.
I'm basically saying go back to our history that does not have us in chains. You know, let's go back to the history of us where we were a happy people, a people that allowed them to even settle in the first place. Do you think Africa, like that, if we continued living our lives like that, we would be a supercontinent in these times?
Is
right
that
now.
an argument?
No, I'm just asking.
Okay.
I feel like,
So-
you know what I think? I think it was going to be difficult for us if other worlds change
Yeah,
the same
that-
way
that's what I
that
was
the change
thinking.
is still. But if we all remain the same, I
same,
think
then
we
I
would
think
be
we would
probably
be
much
fine.
better. Yes.
I believe.
But now, if the other world changed and,
And then
we
we stay
remain
the same. It
we're not going to be happy.
Yeah, but I believe that it was bound to happen because if we are saying we're living in a world or the earth is round, it means that human interaction is bound to happen
Yeah.
because we're humans and humans move. It's our nature to move all the time, just like animals and how the great crossover or the great
great
what.
set.
Yeah, when
Great set.
animals,
Yeah.
we're part of the animal kingdom, by
Yeah.
the way. When animals now, because of season, transition, like move to a different location because that's where they'll find water, grass. That's how it's
When they
happening.
migrate.
Yeah, that's how it's happening even with humans. People from other parts of the world are
The
constantly
fossil
looking.
evidence and all that shit. But what do you think, man?
about that whole thing.
Yes, yes.
I agree with KK.
Okay.
I agree because I feel like if other countries, other places of the world changed and we remain the same, it would be a bit of a problem because we wouldn't be as advanced as we are right now. Are we even advanced?
Apparently, ChatGPT thinks that we are a third world country.
What, South Africa?
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Africa.
can believe that.
But then when you look at it, right, it's very cryptic. It reminds me of, I'm watching Shara Lembe season 3. I'm not going to give spoilers. When the white people came, I was saying to my roommate this. I was saying, according to the depiction they gave us on Shara Lembe, the white people started migrating and started there by the eastern part of South Africa, that is. They started in Eastern Cape because there's a scene where, I don't know, as a historian, you'll correct me, there's a scene whereby the brother of the king, the Zulu king, Ushaka Zulu, that is,
Usenza ngakhona or
Ushaka, bambiza ubani igama lakhe?
ubhuti kaShaka.
Ubhuti kaShaka lo wangaphandle ongazalwanga ngaphakathi emndenini. Ngoba bashaya.
Oh, okay.
Usoshangani, yes, usoshangani. Wahamba wahlangana nenkosi yamaXhosa so much babanjwa amabhunu bebatshela ukuthi bazontshontsha kanti bagcine sebakhulumile about reach a negotiation. How the white people came, they came to ask for the help of our people to fight against the Europeans.
Yes.
The British, I mean.
The British.
Yes.
So, okay. So what?
That also
is
comes into
adoption?
play. I'm just mentioning it. Yeah?
Maybe it could be factual, but maybe it could be an adoption of, you know, how some.
It's an adaptation, of course. It's a sequel.
Yeah,
that
so
series is a
sometimes things are twisted and not presented as they are when
Okay.
it comes to drama.
Production,
For instance, Utsotsi, the actual novel, Utsotsi dies. It's very much different because in that novel that was written by Arthur Fuller before it was adopted by a movie. In the book, Utsotsi, how he gets the baby is because they just killed training, and then they go to the tavern where Boston tells Utsotsi about decency. He runs to the forest in that novel. Then he pins a lady against the tree, and the lady, frightened, gives him a box that has a baby inside. Now he has to raise this baby, but in the movie, he got the baby by hijacking your car. So it could be that Ushaga Ilembe had.
But then there's a lot of they said a lot of scenes they were exaggerated.
Yes, thing is I haven't really watched it.
But
you know what I'm really
knowledgeable,
interested in finding out? I'm really interested in finding out how they dissected Umfetane. I'm really, I don't know if they've gotten to that point
Please
yet.
give me a summary so I can give you a translation to what is happening in the series. Because I've watched it more than 3 times, right?
Okay, so Umfetane is the part where Ushaga Zulu was painted as a tyrant. People know Ushaga as the Zulu king who killed everybody. Yes, that knowledge, or rather those rumors, came from the time in history, and it was called Umfetane. It was around the 1600s, if I'm not mistaken. And basically what was happening is, just like you said, Oguti, the white men were fighting with the British were fighting with the
English.
No, the English, British and the English, because it was right after there was discovery of gold and minerals, right? And okay, well, they didn't discover gold and mineral, but they had discovered these greener pastures in Africa
because the world were ice
and so they were starting with their first initial plans of colonialization. And so they got to the southern Africa, rather the southern hemisphere, and they realized there are different tribes here, but there's one kingdom, but like there are different tribes, the Zulus, the Ngunis, like never many there, you have to go down to history if you're interested in that. However, so because what happened is Ushaga Zulu had influence because of course Amabutuake was very big, and so he was a kingdom because he was the one in the southern hemisphere who had the biggest army and biggest army of his time actually at that time, So now then we realize, and then it gets to a point where then they are trying to get these little tribes to be on their side so they can fight the British. But then it never happened. So because these little parties, just like you said, were starting to form part of their plan, the white man's plan. And Shaga did not want to be a part of that. Shaga saw their plan a long time ago. So Shaga was like, we are okay, if they want to help people stay in our land, it means they must go with these people. That's what it basically was.
But then, to answer your question, right, they did paint him as a tyrant in the point of, because he mobilized the area, you get it, how he actually got to have the biggest army. He mobilized the area and attacked all the kingdoms and got everybody to be under him. Even my people, Abatetwa, my people, Abangulu, which are my surnames, right? Yes. So they were also part of the people who ended up being in Tinasi Nkonyane Nkos, because Umtetwa is the person who was working alongside Ushaga. He's the one who Afugame Ushaga. But then, hey man, I want to leave it up to the people back. And it's still so we're gonna keep more.
Tell us if you like
this. And also next time we're gonna be having a good conversation. We're gonna delve more and deeper into these conversations. So make sure you stay tuned, like, share, comment, subscribe. You can catch us at Grandpa the Painkiller with no spaces, and that is on YouTube. Fried_up_fact, and that is on TikTok. Instagram, and then the_painkiller1 on thingy. Thank you for coming, and thank you for watching. Until next time, peace and love. Yeah, KK. Oh, cocaine. Yeah, that was a good one. I liked it.